This is the Berman Method podcast featuring Dr. Jake Berman and physician assistant Jenni Berman. We are here to treat problems and not symptoms. Disclaimer, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and not to treat anyone or to give medical advice. If you are interested in any information that we are giving and would like to use this for yourself, we recommend that you contact your primary care physician or reach out to us and ask us questions about yourself specifically. Enjoy!
And we're rolling, baby. We're back. The Berman Method podcast, treating problems, not symptoms. Dr. Jake Berman here with my co-host,
Jenni Berman, physician assistant.
Jenni Bear Berman.
That's me.
That's your nickname.
How's everybody doing on this wonderful Monday?
Great. We're all doing great.
Good. I'm glad you answered.
Man, I didn't know this was an interactive podcast now.
A live podcast.
When are we going to start videoing our podcasts? People would love to see your mannerisms when I get all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I think so.
Especially when we disagree with... We had a couple of episodes ago where we had a great disagreement. Mm-hmm. That one would have been a good one to record video.
My eyes turned black.
Oh. Smoke was coming out of her ears. The vaccine podcast. That's the one.
I know.
Go back and listen to that one.
I remember.
Look at her.
Podcast number 60. I remember the number and everything.
Cool. So let's talk about some big news stuff again. We've been flipping through the edit copy of your book.
Yes.
The draft copy of your book. So we've actually got it in hand. That was really cool.
We did some edits. So new and improved, hopefully final, coming out this month, October. We're in October.
Oh my gosh.
So the goal is to have in-hand copies by Thanksgiving. So we have copies in hand that others can buy. They can buy for their friends. We can give away, maybe doing some raffles, things like that to get the word out, spread it. So what was it about? Is that important?
Yeah, it's important. I think it's great. I flipped through it and I read a lot of it because, again, we're in the editing phase. So I want you to do all the editing. I'm not a details person, obviously. I thought it was really well put together.
Well, thank you. It is called Listen to Your Gut. What?
That's so cliche.
I was going on. That wasn't the end of the title. Listen to Your Gut, the Berman way of weight loss, improving your gut health, and balancing your hormones. So it's the ultimate guide to getting to your goal weight, improving your gut health, and balancing your hormones for a lifetime, a lifestyle change to reach the goals that you want to reach, and not just something that is a fad or quick fix. We've talked about a couple fad diets a couple podcasts ago, maybe around podcast 58 time, we talked about some fad diets. But anyway, this is a book for all individuals to be able to read and to understand on a lot of the things that we see on a daily basis in the practice, and just some tips that you can take away or maybe provide to a friend or family member to start trying on their own, but things about blood sugar stability, food sensitivities, overall gut health, fiber intake,
vegetables,
different types of ideas as far as meal plans go, how exercise impacts, how sleep and hydration impact. So it touches on every different aspect of our overall health, stress, cortisol, and how that actually affects our blood sugar, affects our hormone balance, especially when we are perimenopause and postmenopausal. Stress or cortisol has a big impact on how your body is responding to the hormonal changes it has gone through. So anyways, it's a detailed book, but in a very easy way to understand and be able to apply to your daily life.
Yes, this was written for you, the listener, not for Jenni's peers.
Right. And that's something, with doing a lot of research on my own and reading different books. I commented last week that I'm reading this book called Fiber Fueled, which is all about how important fiber, vegetables, are for our overall health. But it goes really, really in depth talking about gut health, which is really important for me and for what I do, but it is not a book that I would expect the non-medical population to be able to read. And so my goal with writing my book was to provide valuable information, but in a way that is easy to understand for the entire population and not just the medical world.
Yes, very comprehensible, very easy to read. So essentially like an airplane read, but it's longer than an airplane read. And one of my favorite parts about the book is how you sprinkle our family throughout there. So you really get to know us better too, our whole entire family.
Right.
Like media and extended family. So that's really cool. So by the end of this book, you're going to be happy. That's
we'll just feel like we're best friends.
Yeah, you're going to really get to know us better. There's a lot of pictures in there. That's one of my favorite things too. I'm a picture guy. I like picture books. I don't like a lot of words. Like when we go to restaurants, right. I really like picture menus, like Skillets.
Yeah.
Skillets has a great picture menu. Don't give me all these words. I want to see pictures.
Right. So, and that's, the book has tables to help easily understand. It has figures so you can see things. I'm very much a visual learner myself. So being able to see and apply is really, really helpful. So we're really excited about that. Like we said, now the second edited copy should be coming really soon. And we hope to have the actual final copies in hand ready to provide to our clients by Thanksgiving time. So be on the lookout for that.
Yay!
Thanksgiving's next month.
Can you believe it?
No.
So this month officially starts the candy eating holiday.
Oh boy.
And then next month, Thanksgiving, is the pie eating holiday. Mm-hmm. And then the following month, Christmas, is the
candy and cookie eating holiday. Uh-huh. Followed by a drinking holiday. Booze. So this is the perfect time to read a book about how much sugar poisons you. Yes. Which we already ranted on a couple weeks ago. Sugar. Yeah. I have some other fun news. Really? Yes. We have a new physician assistant that joined our practice. You do? My practice. What? I didn't hear about this. Yeah. You hired somebody without me? Yeah, I like to keep secrets. No, Jake knew. She's been with us for about a month now. Her name is Merlin. She is a physician assistant with a background in some functional medicine, oncology, which is a cool background and can help our area as well, just from an inflammatory standpoint. She did some urgent care. So we are really excited that she has joined us and is diving deeper into the functional medicine world with us. Yes, she's brought a lot to the table. I mean, a lot. The overall care that you are able to provide to your clients now, because she is there, has exponentially increased since the addition of Stacy earlier this year. And now we got Merlin. I mean, it's amazing because you're just one person and you're used to seeing things a certain way. Then you bring somebody else that has their own background plus your background. So that makes them essentially better than you. It's true. Then you bring a third person in that has their background plus your background. So now plus Stacy's background. Mm-hmm. So it just exponentially grows every single time. So the person that benefits is the one swiping the credit card. Right. So you, the listener that's listening, who is doing business with Berman Health and Wellness, you are getting a better product. Like it's just, there's no other way to look at it. Yes, we're really excited about it. And for clients to continue to have the ability to see multiple providers and get different views, different aspects, different thoughts, different processes, but all encompassed under one type of medicine. Yeah, let's clarify that. Seeing multiple providers can sometimes have a negative connotation when you're
thinking into other corporate facilities. The big difference with seeing multiple providers with Berman Health and Wellness is you guys are constantly talking.
Yes.
Like there's no not talking.
Right.
As soon as somebody leaves, you're going back and you're saying, this is what I found, this is what I recommended. And if there's ever any disagreement, you guys hash it out and figure out, okay, what is the best answer? And if the best answer wasn't the one that was told, you call them up and say, I told you to do this. However, we're going to change that for the next 5 days and do this instead. So there's really never, ever a time where you're not getting the best possible answer.
Right. Lots of continuity of care, very fluent. We do like the consistency of you seeing, Stacy as nutrition and then one of the PAs as the provider. But again, we want to be able to always be available to the client. So if one of us isn't available, the other one can step right in, knows exactly what's going on, because we constantly have that continuity of care between the three of us in the practice, which is also very, very important when it comes from an education, knowledge, research standpoint, is we see things in a different way. We see different things with different clients that we are seeing. So to be able to talk about it, we are all constantly learning and gaining from it. So it really helps to have other minds, but with the continuity of care that we see.
Yes.
And to go on top of that, we are all reading different books right now, research. We are very research-based in our practice, which is really important because that's how we continue to grow and help individuals. So we are all three reading different educational research books, and we have meetings each week to go through and talk about these books, and then we're able to actually apply it to the cases that we're seeing. So we're continuing to be able to grow and help the different patients that are coming in the practice that can be applied to what we're reading, which is essentially everybody.
Yes.
So that's really exciting. The fact that research has continued. We are constantly learning. We have a new provider who is absolutely wonderful. The new book is coming out very soon.
That's absolutely wonderful.
Yes, it's wonderful too. And it's October.
It is October, and we're getting into the food eating phase. And one thing because this kind of piggybacks on the book that you're reading or read, mm-hmm. Fiber fueled, and how it's so important that you're consuming the right vegetables, because fiber is so important. We can get into that stuff some other time, maybe a little bit on this podcast. However, one thing that I learned back before we even knew any of this stuff, I'll never forget this. I had a patient when I was up in Jacksonville, working up in Jacksonville as a physical therapist up in Jacksonville, with this guy who had chronic back pain. And when he came in, you could see that his stomach was visibly distended.
Oy.
Like it was big. It looked like he was pregnant. Like it did not match the rest of his body. And so I'm talking to him. I'm going, okay, when was your last bowel movement? And he goes, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm like, what do you mean you're not sure? He goes, I don't know. Sometime last week. I said, okay, are you regular, or how often do you have a bowel movement? And these are these awkward questions, or can be awkward questions to be answered, but they're really important to be asked from a provider, because you need to know these things. And he didn't really know. So when he came back when he left, I said, I really want you to think about it, and I want you to track how frequently do you have a bowel movement. And when you come back, I need you to tell me. So when he came back, he told me, he goes, usually every 5 to 7 days, I'll have a bowel movement.
Not normal.
That is not normal. And it is not good.
No, it's not good. Not good for the overall health, but yeah.
This guy had chronic back pain, and because of that, he didn't move a lot. So he sat in a recliner, sat on the couch the vast majority of his day because it hurt. So I'm like, okay, this is not good. This is, again, before we really even knew any of this stuff. And I'm going, I know that it's not good. Like, you should be going every day. That's the goal. You should have a regular bowel movement every single day. And if you don't have one, what is happening to the stuff that you ate? So I asked him the question. I said, what do you eat? Like, what do you have for breakfast? And he told me cereal. I said, okay, so you have milk and cereal, right? He goes, yeah. I said, okay, what do you think happens to that milk and cereal once you eat it? It's like, I don't know. It goes into my stomach. And I go, okay, what temperature is your stomach? Mm-hmm. And he goes, I don't know. And I go, yeah, what temperature is your body? He goes, 98 degrees. I said, yes, your body is 98 degrees. So you ate some milk, drank some milk with your cereal. Now I want you to take that same glass of milk and I want you to set it outside today. Because this is the middle of the summer too.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I want you to go out there and I want you to look at that glass of milk and I want you to think, how delicious does that glass of milk look?
Right. In your gut.
But I don't want you to drink it yet.
Yet?
Now I want you to leave it out there another day.
Times 5.
Times 5, yes. Fast forward to the end of the story. Times 5.
5 days.
Now you go out there and look at that glass of milk that you left out in the sun for 5 days. How delicious do you think that milk would look? Mm-hmm. He goes, I think it would be disgusting. I said, what the hell do you think it looks like in your gut?
Right.
He goes, well, I never thought about it that way. And I'm like, what do you think happens to it? You think it just magically changes into some other form? Mm-hmm. No, it just gets broken down, but it is sitting in your intestines, just curdling and just getting disgusting.
Right. Petri dish.
Petri dish.
Yeah.
That's why you have to get regular. And I shit you not.
I see what you did there. Pun.
He immediately changed his habits. He's got up and he started walking more throughout the day because mobility is the number one way to increase motility, right? Motility of the GI tract. You got to move. That's the main reason why you're in the hospital. If you're sick in the hospital, they force you to get up and move because movement is how you get your bowels moving. So anyways, he increases mobility to increase his motility. He dramatically increased his fiber. And by the end of our plan of care together, he was going every 3 days.
Which is better. And actually, his back pain initially, a lot of it was probably caused by the constipation. Constipation is very, very uncomfortable. A lot of people will have pain in the lower left part of their abdomen, but it can also cause significant trunk pain, meaning lower back side pain on both sides.
Yeah, that's what led me to this. Was on the initial evaluation, I could see that his stomach was visibly distended. And when I went through my objective tests, all of his back movements were normal. Like, he moved really well. He had great flexibility, ironically, but he moved really well. And I said, okay, there's something else going on here. It is very possible that a contributing factor to your back pain is this constipation, this lack of motility in your GI tract. So anyways, long story short, the point of all this is you got to be trying to go every day, if not every other day at the very most. And I want you to think about what you ate. Seriously, every time you go to put something in your mouth, I want you to think about, what would this look like after 12 to 24 hours of sitting in 98 degrees? I think about it every single time that we have ice cream. Every single time. It's like, man, I love this ice cream, but what do you think this looks like 12 hours from now in 98 degrees?
Remember when I told you that it takes 72 hours to digest a donut?
Yes.
And then I was like, think about it sitting in your gut for 3 days. Donuts, fried. Really, it applies to most fried foods, but 3 days.
I don't really care about that as much as I care about ice cream. Think about that ice cream sitting in there, 98 degrees. How delicious does that sound? Let's go eat a bowl of 98 degree ice cream.
It's disgusting. And, movement is really important for consistency of bowel movements. Fiber is really important, although some people, too much fiber can cause the opposite problem. Fiber is supposed to help keep the bowels going, but fiber does bulk the stool. So having too much fiber without enough hydration is a big issue for keeping the bowels moving. Hydration is a key component to improving bowel consistency and constipation. And we say constipation, people are like, I don't feel constipated, I don't have pain. But to not have a bowel movement every day or at least every other day would be classified as constipation. Going every 2 to 3 days is classified as constipation, even if you're not having difficulty going or pain going. So hydration is huge when it comes to improving the consistency in both ways, the type and time of your bowel movements.
The type. So you're talking, let's get real explicit here. You're talking about rabbit turds, right?
Right.
When you're taking little rabbit shits, like little pellets falling out of your butt, that is not good. Oh my gosh. That is bad.
I'm blushing right now.
That is bad.
You know, nothing phases me. We talk about bowel movements every single day in our practice. And again, like you said in the beginning, that it can make some people feel awkward or uncomfortable, but it is vital to your overall health and the amount of inflammation that is building up in your system. 60% of the density of our stool is made up of microbes, which is bacteria. So when you were talking about the stool not moving through or the food not moving through and sitting in the bowels at 98 degrees, it is continuing to build bacteria. And the point of having bowel movements every day is to get rid of that bacteria, to pass it, to get it out. And so yes, you know, stool is also made up of weight, but 60% of the weight is actually bacteria based. We have to get rid of it.
Yes, we do. You know, one of my favorite parts about dating you
oh my gosh,
is that there's literally nothing that anybody could ever say to me that could ever make me feel uncomfortable.
Only because I was going through some gastrointestinal trauma while we were dating before we got married.
But I'm so thankful for that experience, because it happens every once in a while where I'll be talking to somebody or talking to a client and they try to bring up something that they think is horrendous or disgusting. I'm like, listen, there is literally nothing you could say right now that would make me feel uncomfortable, because I've seen it, been there, smelled it, lived it.
Oh my gosh, we don't need to go in that much detail. But part of what he's referring to is, this is a true story. Before we actually figured out my gut issues, like I think I'd been out of the hospital 2 weeks maybe, and so I was still having a lot of gut issues. I was on all these medications, and I took a mission trip with my PA school, physician assistant school. We took a mission trip to Nicaragua, and so I was extremely ill, very skinny, not in a nice way to put it, holding on to any food I was consuming.
She was ass pissing.
Oh, stop. You don't have to talk like that. Oh
well,
my
I think it's important that we say it out loud so that everybody knows exactly what was happening.
Okay. I was sick, okay? And I go to Nicaragua, and the only bathrooms there, well, in the area that we were at, if anybody's ever been there, were outhouses with holes in the ground. No electricity, just basically holes in the ground in a little box. So that was really hard. I didn't have phone service to call you at any point. We were in a third world country, essentially, helping individuals with medicine there. And I came back and I told him, I was like, nothing will faze me. Nothing will faze me after that. However, we have to figure out a fix to this because I can't continue to live like that. So anyways, that's my story. So nothing that you talk about will faze us, but it is so important because there is an underlying something there, whether you're not having bowel movements or you're having way too many bowel movements. There is something there with the gut health itself, whether you have an overload of bad bacteria, not enough good bacteria, you're consuming foods that your body is sensitive to, you're not hydrating enough, you're not moving enough. There's tons and tons of different causes to why your bowels are abnormal, and we have to figure that out. We have to fix it and balance the proper bacteria and get rid of that 60%.
Yeah, did not think that we were going to go down all the way down this road when we first started. This was not in our plan
That was
today.
not the plan
But I
for
think
this
it's
podcast.
important because we started out with your book, Listen to Your Gut. Your gut's telling you something, so listen to it. Now, again, we're going into October, and this is when the food eating frenzy starts happening. Everybody says, screw it. Diet's out the window until January, so give it all to me. Every time you put something into your mouth, I want you to think about it. How regular are you using the bathroom? Like defecating, having a bowel movement. If the answer is every 24 hours, whatever you put into your mouth, I want you to think about what would this look like 24 hours from now after being in 98 degrees? And if it still seems appetizing to you, then have at it. I mean, there's certain things where the vast majority of things that we eat, I think about that. I'm like, yeah, I'd still eat this. This chicken's going to be good. These vegetables are going to be good.
I don't think about that, but okay.
But it's true. Especially when it comes to ice cream. Think about it with ice cream and cheese. Oh, man. All that cheese just in there fermenting and
oh my gosh. Oh,
all
nobody
right,
has
let's
a
wrap
weak
it up. I
stomach.
think people are appetized enough. I hope you were getting ready to eat breakfast.
Oh my gosh. I apologize if this made anyone be like, I can't listen.
Please share this episode because I think, as uncomfortable as it was, I think it's really, really important and it's not talked about enough. So share this episode with somebody. Make sure you like and subscribe to us. Our subscribers are growing, and the more subscribers we can get, the more people that we can reach. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously. So please hit the subscribe button. Please share this. Please like it. Please comment on it. And we appreciate everybody.
Yes, we do. Thanks for listening.
Ciao for now.
Listen to your gut. Okay, bye.
Did I beat you to it?
Adios.
See ya.
Thank you for subscribing on your social media and podcast platforms to the Berman Method. Dr. Jake Berman with Berman Physical Therapy and Jenni Berman, Physician Assistant with Berman Health and Wellness. You can find more information on our website, www.bermanpt.com for physical therapy, bermanpt.com/wellness for the health and wellness. You can also find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and on your podcast platform. So be sure to follow us, like us, subscribe to us. And if you would like any further information, definitely visit our website and reach out to us. You may also find our free reports on the websites as well, where you can download this free information for yourself. Have a great day.